All right, let's jump right on into some games. Now we're playing some Paper Boomer Magic this morning. This application that's old enough to vote is Magic the Gathering Online. We were playing some Pioneer this morning, and we've got some Sultai Rogues. So we get a couple of neat tools by splashing green into this archetype in this format. The first is, just kind of a generic catch-all answer to things like within Abrupt Decay here, killing random artifacts and enchantments. Another one that's really sweet is honestly Binding of the Titans. I debated trying to fit another copy of this card into the deck because it's one that I've really liked in the past. So Lurrus is our companion in this deck. And Lurrus says you can cast permanents with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. And this is really good with Binding of the Titans because Binding on the third chapter lets you return a creature or land from your graveyard to your hand. So Lurrus with Binding kind of gives you an unkillable Lurrus because like you play Lurrus and then the first thing you play with Lurrus is Binding. And then, if they kill your Lurrus, the Lurrus is coming back in 2 turns with Binding's third chapter. And then when the Binding eventually goes away, you just recast Lurrus with it. You just recast it with Lurrus again, making it very difficult to take your companion off the table without graveyard hate. Another thing that's really sweet in this build from the Green Splash is Deathrite Shaman's activation. So obviously you don't need green mana to play this card, but this Rogues deck is a mill deck at its core, and there's a number of decks in Pioneer that utilize their graveyard as a resource, and Deathrite Shaman lets us take key cards out of the opponent's graveyard, so that way, even though we're milling them, they won't hopefully be able to leverage that graveyard as a resource. Another card that I'm sure we'll get some questions about at the top of the curve here, we've got Nissa, Steward of the Elements. I'm not 100% sure if I'm sold on this, so something to note with Lurrus is that you could technically recast Nissa from your graveyard with Lurrus, but you actually can't cast her with X equals anything. You can't cast spells with converted mana cost greater than 2 with Lurrus. So this is a Planeswalker source of card advantage that we can technically play in our deck because its converted mana cost is 2, but we can't replay it from the bin for value. So I am skeptical that these two Nissas are better than, say, like, third Binding and fourth into the story, but that's something I want to keep my eye on while we play games here today. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. I'm used to Deathrite Shaman being banned and everything, completely forgot it was legal in Pioneer. I mean, honestly, like, cards like Deathrite Shaman are a good reminder that, like, power level is contextual to the format that you're playing, right? So like Deathrite Shaman is only busted in those other formats because of the fetch lands. So with fetch lands being banned in Pioneer, Deathrite Shaman is mostly fine. Even borderline not even amazing. Boxacan, thank you for the 3 entire years. Welcome back. D-Rock, thanks for the 5 months. Good morning, good morning. Get Teferi banned so we can see some Modern. Yeah, I've been looking. I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get back to Modern. Like, if I'm completely honest with myself, there's more than just Teferi that's really obnoxious in Modern. Like cards like Blood Moon, Ensnaring Bridge, getting turn 3 carned, like none of those sound like very pleasant experiences that I want to play when I can play other more interesting formats. Like, Teferi, 3 mana Teferi's like the first Blood Moon level card that's been played in years, but like, I've been keeping tabs on all of Magic's formats since I came back, and like, looking at the results of what's been posting in Modern, a lot of it, there's more than just Teferi that makes me go, I don't really want to deal with that. Well, Nissa, the thing that's nice about Nissa is you can even play her on 3, because her plus is a +2, right? My favorite format right now is definitely Standard. Historic's been playable, but it also has a lot of field beds in it. Like, a lot of field beds in it. I'd love to play first. Hey, thanks for the tip distinction. I appreciate that. I would love to reveal my companion. You have a companion 2 opponent? They do. For Grixis Delve. Sounds good, distinction. Can you let me know if you have a preference on what day we play that, or if you just like it played as soon as possible, you can slide on into my DMs. Get some companion zones revealed here. Our hand looks great. You'll love to see it. I think I start with Crab, right? I think Modern looks fun right now if you like things that happen in Modern. But the types of things that happen in Modern are not for everyone, and I think that includes me. Black source out here. No, I've got the link in my thing. It'll be up Wednesday morning then, Distinction. I appreciate the support. I'll go live about this time on Wednesday with it. Yeah, honestly, that's a big part of it too. Stuff like that when they ban Lava Dart. Like, as someone who loves Birds of Paradise decks, like Lava Dart's a real rude card. Huh. So I think with them being on Groll, I actually want to prioritize getting Deathrite Shaman into play here. Yeah, part of me is surprised we don't see more goblins on the historic ladder, but another part of me also understands that it's kind of expensive to build on Magic Arena, and that probably is a big part of it. Like, another question is, like, people keep asking me, like, what are my thoughts on historic? And it's hard to have educated and informed thoughts on historic, because historic is a format where we don't have a lot of regular tournaments. So a lot of the historic I'm playing is basically just casual Magic with the historic ban list. So it's hard, like, we don't know, like, are the sack decks overbearing? We don't know, like, is X overbearing? That's an Elder Gargoth. Are we just dead? I actually just can't take that off the table, right? I guess I can double block it. Oh, I've got Drowns. Yeah, that's a good call. You can double block it, right? Well, so I don't think Goblins is boring to pilot is likely the case. I would estimate that Goblins isn't super popular on the ladder because it requires a lot of very specific cards that are only playable in that archetype to craft. It's not Magic Arena friendly in terms of budget. If you like build Goblins on Magic Arena, you better love playing Goblins because it's all you're playing. Yeah, the jumpstart rares are not cheap. So Deathrite Shaman gets to counter their Clothis here every turn, so that's nice. I don't get to use the mana with it this turn, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, Elves is similar, but I also don't think the power level of Elves is very high. I would be kind of surprised if the power level of that archetype is appropriate for the format. Elves is on my list of things to burn some rank trying, but I would be surprised if Elves is Alright, so we're definitely double blocking Gargoth here. I think we probably triple block to play around a burn spell here. They can only kill 2 of them anyways. Well, I guess if they have a burn spell for Soaring Thought-Thief, I lose the attack. Yeah, sure, and like, and that's the other thing too, Sensei. Like, you know, it's hard to really get a measure on what's competitive because my experience playing a bunch of historic ladder so far is a lot of people aren't playing established good decks. And like, that's not to say I'm not having fun playing historic. It's just to say that like the current experience playing historic on the ladder is likely very different than what historic will be in a tournament setting when tournaments happen for it. So like, is the format good right now, and am I enjoying it are two different things. Like those things aren't necessarily tied to each other. So that's an okay draw. Feels like we're kind of between a rock and a hard place, though. I don't know how we beat this Great Henge. Well, there's different stakes, right? Like, the types of decks people are willing to play when they have to put money on the line and they have to invest a bunch of time sitting there and playing a tournament, and what they're going to do when they're just playing random ladder matches for fun and their rank just doesn't matter. They're just like night and day different. Moto decks don't end up on Cardboard Live. We're like solidly in garbage time here, right? This thing's gonna activate again here in a second. Our lack of ability to take artifacts that cost more than 3 off the table in my 75 seems like a mistake here. I also only have 6 ways to kill something like Gargoth, which feels a little bit bad. We're bringing in Disdainful Stroke, probably want this extra Fatal Push against the Land War Elf deck. I don't think this is a Golgari Charm matchup. It like kills Land War Elves and Elvish Mystics, but that's about it. I don't think this is a Thoughtseize matchup. They're going to play out to the board pretty quickly. Morning Lawyer. Well, I don't know if it's as simple as decays should be trophies, so much as like you should be playing decay and trophy, or you should be playing some other way to kill enchantments in the board. I keep this. The Rune Crab without a blue source is basically a mulligan. Yeah, this looks fine. I keep, but I'm actually going to bottom a Watery Grave here, so this way if we, like, draw 4th land, we can cycle the Zagoth Triome. Two things about people comparing decks like this to standard decks. One is that standard's a pretty high power level right now, and you shouldn't underestimate that factor of it. 2 is that getting better mana is a big deal. And 3 is that, I think I'm starting with Crab here, right? And I'm going to drop this land, and if the land mills them into a land, I can play the Soaring Thought-Thief this turn. Perfect. The other thing is that power level of decks is contextual in the format in which they're being played. So, like, for example, if you look at Rogues in Standard right now, it has probably the most polarized matchups of all the decks that are popular. which means that, you know, this archetype is very good against specific subsets of decks. So, like, if those subsets are popular in a format like Pioneer, you could potentially have a very good time here. All right, I think I want to be able to gain life this turn, so I'm going to play Rune Crab here and leave green up. Get my auto yield on. Dear Magic Arena, auto yield 2 triggers when. Deathrite's my favorite green card, and I hate green cards. Just because Deathrite Shaman's a Grixis card. It's actually Grixis. It's a Grixis Planeswalker. Do you remember to mouse over my opponent's cards more? So I pop up on the old card viewer for folks. Suppose I could cycle this Triome and end of turn 2 with the Deathrite Shaman and X-Spell here. That's just rude. It's a big boy chat. Yeah, I think we're cycling this, looking for some action. I think I animate Mutavault ship for 2, and then I can play this land tapped and hold up Drown / the ability to gain 2 life with Deathrite Shaman cleanly. Sounds great. I think we just leave the Spellbreaker for now. I think that's fine. I think I like they're playing like Elder Gargoth and stuff, so I think I want to be able to drown something scarier. And this is that, you know, kind of split focus of an archetype like this. Like, these crabs are enabling Deathrite Shaman, which is nice, but, like, I've, like, attacked their life total a little bit, and I've attacked their ability to put cards in the graveyard with their deck size a little bit, and I haven't made great headway on either. I would expect that this matchup is quite bad for us on average, though. Looking at the standard rubrics from the weekend, I believe Rogues is pretty bad against Gruul there, and Gruul in this format is obviously better than Gruul in standard in terms of how aggressive it is. What's the matchup matrix? The matchup matrix has for people that haven't seen this before. So this is the matchup matrix from this past weekend. So these are all of the standard week 4. Dimir Rogues was 24.5% versus Gruul Adventurers. Yikes. Only worse against cycling, 12%. Rogues is easily the most polarized deck in standard right now. It's not particularly close. Well, yeah, I mean, Rogues is like 60% against Bruise. Yeah, basically, bang bang. When the game's when I feel like if your win rate is like sub 30% in Magic in a matchup, it means you're literally only winning when the deck doesn't play Magic. And actually, the cycling matchup really testifies to that, right? Because the cycling deck is hyper consistent because it draws so many cards. So the cycling deck is actually super reasonable there because of that. It doesn't stumble very often because it has so many draws. All right, so they're killing Deathrite Shaman. Get to gain 2 more here. The good news is I get to Fatal Push this Lovestruck Beast this turn. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to. I think this was wrong, actually. I think I'm supposed to give up a Rune Crab here to gain 4. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to give up a Rune Crab there to gain 4. Oh, my opponent just drew their companion. Yeah, yikes. I could draw my companion, but then we're still dead next turn, right? Yeah, the cycling deck both is a low to the ground aggressive deck, and it gets to take advantage of the rogues deck dumping cards into their graveyard. Yeah, our deck does not seem well suited for playing against a big creature aggressive deck. You wish Chevill had a home in Standard? Well, let me tell you about the truth, the light, and the world, and invite you to welcome your Lord and Savior Porcupine into your heart of hearts. Porcupine would love to show you a good time with Chevill. Did you miss something with said parrot? Yeah, we broke Standard. Come on now, gotta keep up on the YouTubes if you're not watching all the streams live. You don't need to mutate onto a human. You mutate onto one of your other creatures, and then after you've mutated onto the other creature, you're good to go. Am I supposed to mulligan this? It's kind of a 4-lander. Having a lot of lands to cast Lurrus sounds appealing. I'm gonna keep this. I could see throwing it back being correct though. The bot said they played Burn. Lurrus and Burn is pretty common. We're on the play. Yeah, like I'm on the play, so like if I get to hit with this robber, the Drown in the Loch is active too, which has a lot of appeal. No blocks on Taylor Swift Spear. It's a nice draw. Chained to the rocks. Oh no, we're milling their Lurrus for value, chat. Vanishal Pyromancer. Yep. think we just play this now, right? Get the attack trigger here. So this is 8 cards. This is 8 cards. So I'm not quite at turning. These are all 8. Oh, and now we're live. Sweet. Right, because this does 1 when it mills. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's the Soaring Thought-Thief at? Okay. We're playing Collective Defiance. You're a wizard, Harry. Pretty sure I gotta trade Thieves Guild Enforcer here. Has Death Touch, even if they have another spell, we still get the trade. Ending's not terrible. Lets us gain 2 life on its second chapter here, which is nice. The Urborg means I can hold up the Mutavault activation and drown in the Loch, which is nice. Or the Urborg with the Mutavault here. We'll see what they cast. I think we probably need to drown one of these. Striking my dome. I think I want to just kill something here. Yeah, maybe it's better to kill Taylor. So I can murder this, draw this. And then Binding sacks itself next turn, and then I can play Lurrus, replay Binding, like we talked about in the deck tech. Which is pretty sweet. Binding of the kitty. Meow. No, don't chain me to some rocks. Come on now. Oh, they're just playing Lurrus. Deal. If they like attack with a Gitu Lava Runner this turn, I think we actually trade Lurrus off and gain 3. Because, like, I'll gain 3 with the block, I'll gain 2 with Binding next turn, and then I'll get to pick the Lurrus back up with Binding. Oh, right. Speaking of chain, I probably need to exile chain this turn, right? Do I just draw 2 here? Yeah, they could have cast Lurrus with their mountains because of Urborg. And like sack Windrobber, replay Windrobber. Do I want to mill them this turn? I could be milling them into another Chain the Rocks is the problem. Do you need to get my damage in though? Yeah. Looking for an answer to their Lurrus here. Well. Taylor resolves. They drew a brick, we're in a good spot. They drew a burn spell, we're not dead, but we're not in a good spot either. Fear these. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Should put this here, and this kills this regardless. I want to put this here, right? We're dead to a deal 3. No matter how we slice it. Oh, we're not dead to a deal 3, right? Because Lurrus lifelinks. JK, LOL. Yeah, Lurrus plus binding is great. Like I said, it could very definitely be possible that we want a 3rd binding in this deck. I do think that engine is quite strong. Play a Krabby out here and pass back. If we win this game, it'll definitely be because of Lurrus and binding. Good morning, Silver Oak. All right. All right, so Soul Scar Mage, Monastery Swiss Spear. Oh, fuck. I just clicked on. This interface is so tiny. That's what she said. I just clicked on the wrong thing. That's actually a big deal because it gains us 1 less life. Just gotta pass here. Actually, maybe I'm supposed to attack with Mutavault. I think of attacking with Lurrus here. I think I'm kind of into it, actually. Because my binding's going to pick it back up next turn. Yeah, it's like technically making their board smaller. I think this is fine. Gaining 3 sounds great. It's actually safer in my graveyard than it is in play, right? Because in my graveyard it doesn't get hit by Chain of the Rocks. I've got Mutavault that can play defense okay here. Is it crazy to kill their Eidolon instead of Lurrus? Oh, killing Lurrus gains me 3, right? Yeah, definitely crazy. I forgot about Chevill. This gains me 3 and draws a card. Nailed it. Well, I have Deathrite Shaman that can exile it. I'm just passing here. I feel like this game is over now at this point. I feel like with the Lurrus gone and us up to 9, virtual 11 with this, we're good to go. Gain 2, thank you. Game wasn't over before. Certainly is now. Green source 2. Line these Titans right up. Your move, Yugi boy. Defense. Yeah, I think we're solidly into garbage time at this point. It was close for a little bit. You light that stage up, opponent. They have nine cards left in deck for people that can't see the tiny number. Put a thing on that. Exile Gitu Vanisho. This game's actually been really long, so I'm actually running a little bit low on clock myself. Taking 10 minutes off my clock to navigate this game. They're just wasting my clock at this point. They're done on board. Build them out if they want to play that game. All right, so Fatal Push is great, obviously. Crypt Incursion is great. Golgari Charm kills Eidolon, and it kills Vanisho Pyromancer, so like 1 copy of that is probably fine. I don't think I ever want to draw 2 of them. Nissa seems like a trim. Into the Story seems like a trim. So green. People asking about the green splash. Green splash definitely handily responsible for winning us that there. Both Deathrite Shaman activations and binding instrumental. Chevill not being bad either, getting us a total of 6 off of 2 of his triggers. They have a lot of wizards. That's true. I don't hate a vengeance. I'm gonna trim it Into the Story. This is our second match with the deck, isn't it? We died to grow. Opponent unsurprisingly chooses to be on the play. No 1-mana spells, but I think this hand's reasonable. We want to get this Storko down to start, right? Threatens to kill them with blocks. Wizard Lightning. Let's read. Another streamer you watch. You watch other streamers? You're cheating on me, Illustar? I'm not good enough for you anymore. Alright, I think we're playing a tapped land here, and then we're flashing this Storko in, and then after this attacks, it'll let us drown in the Loch. We're getting a little wacky and wild here. Oh, that's a great draw. I get to go Black Source, Bloodchief's Thirst, Fatal Push, Drown, attack for 2, attack for 1. We're 1 short of 2. Wow, really surprised they're electing to use their Chain to the Rocks already with my Lurrus not used yet. Feels aggressive on their part. This is definitely getting cycled. Be a good play for next turn. Feels like we're done here. Got me. Block. We weren't done before. We certainly are now. Yeah, I agree. I think the binding puts us solidly into garbage time. Neto, thanks for the follow. Morning. To gain 2 off the binding here as well. Just like that. Hidden second chapter mode coming in. Coming in nicely. Where are the animations at? Come on now. Yeah, opponent understands. That sick victory animation, the screen change and everything. 1-1 on the scoreboard, chat. Coming for some points. I hope so, Red Ranger. At a minimum, we're guaranteed to get the Shambling Vent, Hissing Quagmire, Wandering Fumarole set into Historic eventually. Even if not into Stand. But I imagine that. Wait, is one of the... I was actually kind of surprised we didn't get them in the Zendikar set. It happened recently. Yeah. Everybody for hanging out this morning. Got 500 people in here for some spreadsheet magic. If you're new to the channel, we're playing a lot of Magic again these days. We're playing a lot of standard and historic, a little bit of Pioneer here on Magic Online on occasion as well. Tend to play a lot of off-meta decks. We've got a YouTube channel. Everything we stream gets posted. Last Pioneer deck we played, if you're into this format, was some Green-Black Rock. Love me some Tireless Tracker. We're going to be playing some Blue-Black Mutate in Standard on Arena after we finish this Moto League. You put a whale in the middle of your burrito. It's got to be... What does whale taste like? Is it more fish or is it more meaty? Gosh, 2.5 minutes in the queue, chat. What a dead game. Easy mulligan here. No second land. Yeah, this seems pretty good. We'll bottom the Mana Confluence. We have all of our colors otherwise. I died exclusively on endangered species. Lamped it with the double whale flex. Got the dolphin in there too. The dolphin is a tier 2 sub emote, and the gray whale is the tier 3 sub emote. There's two different breeds of Hoaglandia whale. Some people are both. There's a bit whale emote, and there's a tier 3 sub whale emote. We acknowledge here in Hoaglandia that sea mammals come in all shapes and sizes. Hoaglandia whales definitely taste like money. Can confirm. This is a sweet draw because I get to double mill them, and then I get to play this and double mill them and attack for 3. Look at this Wild Nakatl with Death Touch and Flash, chat. Get in there. Okay, so opponent's playing the Citadel Coco deck that made the finals of the Pioneer Challenge this past weekend. No, they're just there for as long as you have the higher tier sub dirty digits. They're not like the bid emotes. I would like to attack with these ones. I'm sacking this to draw a card. Wouldn't mind hitting a land here. Think we just end this one abruptly. And give them 2 mana, which is scary. I also don't really want to lose any of my threats. Loop. Thanks for the follow. Good morning. Gosh, opponent passed with 4 mana and has no plays? That's super unlucky. They have 3 cards in hand and they just can't cast any of them? Alright, do we Nissa +2 up to 3, or do we like Deathrite Shaman plus Bane of Monsters? Kind of like Chevill plus Deathrite Shaman, because that way I can attack into the company with my Death Touchers. If I play the Planeswalker, I want to hold back my attackers, right? And I think I want to keep the pressure on. They could theoretically have a bunch of Citadels, you're not wrong. But like if even one more Thieves Guild Enforcer connects, we like get to drop Deathrite Shaman and grind them a little bit with that. Brick. Those aren't bricks, chat. Those are not the bricks I wanted for Christmas. So they'll go block. And the Catacomb Sifter lets them sack both of these to kill one of my 3/2s. Oh, this doesn't sack. This just when they die. Oh, this is much better for us. I don't know why I thought this was like Ghost Rider. It's different though. And then next turn they play Citadel and kill us. Hopefully the fact that they're at 5 means that's not possible. Yes, Catacomb Sifter. Been a hot second. 3/2, 2/3 Devoid makes an Eldrazi Scion, which sacrifices for mana. And then scries when something dies. If you're dying, you're scrying, chat. Ghost Rider here, escaping the bin before the old Shamalaman can exile it. Wonderful to see them sack a couple of things here to kill the Shamalaman. Shamalama ding dong. Do 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 do. Boo do 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 do. Do 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 boo 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 boo. Do 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 do. What's our best draw next turn? Probably Drown in Loch. Let's check out what's on top of the bounty board today. Wait, wrong game. So the way Planeswalkers work is after this resolves, I get priority to plus her right away. So there's never an opportunity where this is at 1 loyalty for my opponent to sacrifice one thing. That's a draw 4. Yeah, I'm props into a draw 4, right? I'm down with the draw 4s. Get down with your bad self, chat. Okay. Would you like to murder my Nissa? Who are we killing? We're killing my Shyamalan. What did my Shyamalan ever do to you, opponent? Oh, it threatened to drain you to death? I understand. I understand. Opponent scryed top. That's scary. Dr. Deathrite PhD is going down, chat. Sugar, we're going down. I think I'm draining them to 3. I think putting them to 3 is better than going to 22. We've tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter anymore. 4 of your finest Magic the Gathering cards, deck. No, I said 4 of your finest, deck. Why would you do this to me? To me, of all people. All right, I'm gonna be conservative and take the scry here, I think. The scry was basically like a draw 2. Zulapur Cutthroat. Is that lethal? It's probably close. Binding of the Titans. Start with this and see where we go. Gaining a little bit of life sounds really appealing this turn. Or next turn, I should say. Right, like, I mean, scrying before I draw 4 cards is much worse than scrying before I draw 1 card the following turn. I'd much rather scry before I draw fewer cards. Also, the cards I draw with the end of the story could dictate what I want to scry into the following turn. Lordy. Yeah, I'm just supposed to play blocker here, actually. Oh, wow! This was an Amonkhet card that wasn't an AHK remastered. That really surprised me. Yeah, there's a number of cards that are legal in Historic that aren't legal in Pioneer. Remember, when Pioneer's eventually on Arena, Historic will be bigger than Pioneer. Phyrexian Obliterator is another good one. Is that lethal? Not quite, but close. Gaining 2 here is going to be a big deal. Wait, they're shooting my Nissa? That's so good for me. That's so good for me, chat. Why would you shoot my Nissa? Every point of life that doesn't go to our dome seems like a huge win for the home team. Good golly, chat, we've got huge tracts of land. Just the biggest tracts of land you've ever seen. Looking for a Doomblight. I guess they're worried about her ultimate, huh? Untap 2 lands, they become 5/5s with flying. Oh, I guess her ultimate is lethal, huh? I was wondering why they keep shooting the Nissa. Turns out her ultimate is lethal. Listen, chat. This is a viewer deck. Don't act like I've read the cards in it. Come on now. The fact that they have to keep poking her to prevent her from ulting is real sick, though. We could die here. If this hits like Cutthroat Devil. So it's 4 per sacrifice creature. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We've died. This is why the opponent's deck is very good. In my defense, I spent every Nissa scrying there because I wanted to drown in the Loch to kill their thing, to prevent that exact situation from happening. We cut Windrobber here because it dies to Mayhem Devil triggers. I again do not have a way to take an expensive artifact off of the table, which seems like an oversight. What's going on, Stoller? Yeah, I'm taking some Pioneer decks for viewer submissions again. We've had a few people take me up on that. It's been reasonable so far. Moto's Moto, but the format itself has been fine. I think I want the rest of these. Feeling like I wish these Golgari Charms would have been Assassin's Trophies so far in this set, though. Definitely a little bit of bias based on the matches that we've hit, but Trophies a pretty flexible card. I'm trying to think, like, what decks are in this format that I really want -1/-1 against, and I'm drawing a blank. Can anybody help me out? Is there a deck where, like, the first line on this charm is something that we're really interested in? I haven't played a ton of Pioneer yet. I feel like there must be something. I think I do this on blue into Rune Crab here. And then we drop this on green, hoping to hit a black source with this down the line. Might be wrong to not guarantee. Okay, that's nice. This draw, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this out, I think. Red Black Pyro is kind of a thing, sure. Spot removal is pretty good in that matchup, though. Think I'm murdering this and then playing Binding. Want to keep them off of the Coco for a turn if possible here. One scry to the top. Ha! Got him! Get to exile some Woe Striders here. If I block the Catacomb Sifter, my opponent could sack this to kill my Krabby. Are we just taking old Mayhem Devil out back and drowning him in the Loch, chat? Is that the play? I guess it could be right to save that too. I just like play Nissa and then plus her up to 4. Killing this before the sacrifices has some appeal though. If she only goes to 4, she kind of gets pressured off the board here, right? We're definitely playing this on black. Play this as, hey, look, a distraction for now. Seems fine. It's kind of a Doomblade. Like, the problem with using the Drown and the Mayhem Devil is that my opponent's still at 20, which means, like, if they find a Citadel, they just bury me with it if I don't have a counterspell. If we're to see a main phase company here. Oh, there's a third Woe Strider in the bin. I missed that. Oh, that's super awkward. That's really unfortunate they had 2 of those so early. Yeah, I don't know we're going to be able to play through that. Kind of out of gas at this point. I think just recast this endlessly. Turns out Rogues is bad against escape creatures in other formats too. Who'd have thunk it? I think I want to hold up Drown rather than draw Lurrus here. I think we have a choice at this point. I don't have another answer to that. I don't want to lose my Rune Crab here. They go. You go land Citadel next turn. I assume we die. It's a sweet looking Citadel artwork. Pretty sure I got a block here. They get to recast it, but I don't think I can take another 5 here with the Zulaport Cutthroat in play. Re-escape the Ghost Rider here. Too terrible. Get to go Lurrus into play something next turn. Are we on the mill them out plan? I think we're on the mill them out plan. Yeah, I need to grab some royalty free music before the next Moto stream, I think. So Thieves Guild mills them. Yeah, I win this race, right? So I think rather than binding here, I just Thieves Guild again. This is milling them for 4 down to 19 cards. So they just want to like attack with Ghost Rider every turn and like run into my Thieves Guild and I recast it. We win that milling them out race. Bolt to you. Thanks for the follow. Good morning. Yeah, I've got a bunch of there's a bunch of different places you can grab royalty free stuff from. I just haven't needed to because I usually play games that have music built in. That's reasonable. Are we dead yet? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I think they're 1 short of killing us here. My math is correct. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, they're one short at the moment. Oh no, it's exactly dead. This counts itself, right? Or another creature you control dies. This counts itself, I believe. Is that right? They sack this, do I die? Those 2 triggers? Is this 1? This 2. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The decks that play to the board we've lost to so far and they've not felt particularly close. Also, like, that game there was an example of, we talked about people being able to get value out of their graveyard and Deathrite Shaman and binding, not quite able to. Well, they had 1 more than Xyz, right? They could have sacrificed the second one too. Binding and Deathrite Shaman not being able to show up and save us from their graveyard interactions, which is a danger to playing this archetype. Ewok, thank you for the 22 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think we're mulliganing this. It has all of our colors, but 5 lands is just too many, I think.
Can't come till my.
I think we keep Drown in the Dark rather than Abrupt Decay. We've got these 2 to enable the drones. I guess if they're a deck that we want to play a removal spell on 2 against, I'm a little bit sad that I bought him the Decay. What's going on, Titan? Thanks for the third of a year. So, chat, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you didn't hear about my adventures in home ownership last night. So, it's your Penguin. Thanks for the tip. The issues in Texas have taken our local staff, and I am now doing the work of 3 people and working tons of unpaid overtime. Yeah, America. So as usual, thanks for doing what you do and keeping me sane during this bump a deck you want to play. Thanks for the support. Sorry. Texas, everything going on in Texas sounds like. My issues at home are very trivial compared to everything else that's been going on in Texas. So things get sorted down there soon. Hey, people, I'm sure there's probably Texans in chat in addition to Penguin. Have things started to thaw there? Or are you all still below freezing at this point? It was 70 degrees yesterday and supposed to get up into the 60s today. I had to use my AC yesterday. Good golly. I work in insurance and we're rebuilding houses down there, entire houses, lordy. So, my adventures in home ownership that I was talking about, Christy and I, Haley is mobile, and we've had a TV sitting on a TV stand in our living room because the boys obviously are old enough to not touch it. But with Haley crawling around, she's been pulling herself up and her grubby fingerprints are on the bottom of it. And I don't want her to like knock it over. So I was like, okay, let's mount the TV to the wall. So I was drilling holes to mount my TV to the wall last night. And I drilled into the stud at the exact point that a wire was running through it and tripped the breaker and knocked out power in my living room and almost assuredly damaged the wire. Because that's just good beats, right? You're just like, all right, let's drill in to mount, and then just like, right, bam. At least like glass half full, I didn't get electrocuted. So like the safety breaker flipped, and I didn't get injured. Like you could die doing that, theoretically. So I'm glad glass half full, I'm glad my breakers work. Thanks for the 14 months, Shui. I mean, I wasn't intending to mess with electrical stuff. It didn't even occur to me that there were going to be wires going through. Yeah, someone else mentioned on Twitter that there's stud finders that do voltage sensing now, and I'm going to have to get one of those. We just have a cheap one that just finds studs. I mean, I've mounted TVs before. It's usually not a big deal. And like, ideally, I didn't want to have extra people into and out of my house during the pandemic if I could avoid it. Yeah, it has like, I mean, like literally there's just like a hole drilled through the stud and the wire went through it, and like I hit exactly the point where, you know, like a wire smaller than my finger is going through a stud. So like, the variance on that, there's lots of variance in real life, chat. It pays to be lucky. Now, the small upside is, I think, since I'm gonna have to have an electrician out anyways to fumble with that, I think my plan is to ask them to install an outlet up higher in my wall so that I can have an outlet behind the TV. Because if we're going to pay to have someone out, we might as well do something useful past just fixing my mistake. Because I was originally going to have to run a cord down and like find a way to baby-proof the cord. I do have a nostalgic attachment to this card. So, if I Windrobber, if I attack with this, I could take Mom and Pop out back and drown him in the Loch. That doesn't seem terrible. And I can play this and mill an extra 2 cards here. Oh, are they a Winota deck? They have Naya mana. Are they a Winota deck? Am I supposed to hold up Drown in the Loch for Winota? That's my Lurrus. They're not a Lurrus deck. Hey, Jake. Thank you for the 11 months. Yeah, the evolution makes me think Lurrus. My house is actually already Cat 5 wired, which is great. My house is only 12 years old. They wired it with Cat 5 when they built it. Like, this card's great with Winota, right? Because it's like a human that you can find that then gives you 2 things that trigger Winota. The problem here is if I pass, they can use Mom and Pop to kill the Deathrite Shaman. And I really don't want to lose my Deathrite Shaman. I think if we get Winoted, we get Winoted. Okay, well. I think I'd like to gain some life here with Deathrite Shaman in this turn. Let's attack for 6. Yep, look at that. Spotted a Winota based on the Eldritch Evolutions. There's historic staple Angrath's Marauders. I miss you, Winota. It's so dumb that Winota is banned in this format, or is banned in. It's so dumb that Winota is banned in historic. We've only milled 1 Angrath's Marauder so far, so like there's a good chance we're about to get slammed. It could be dead here. Well, they haven't windmilled an Angrath's Marauder, so you're saying there's a chance? Wow! And the mana from Burning Tree Emissary lets them do stuff with Kenrith this turn. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They can give everything trample with this, too. Brutal. You played Historic Goblins. Yeah, Historic Goblins is very good. It's just very swingy. I don't enjoy playing the Goblins deck. It's good, I just don't find it very fun. Well, I think we've died, chat. Or decks I've enjoyed playing the most. So if you go to my YouTube page, any deck that we played that has like 90 minutes or more on the video is a deck that I was enjoying. So with not taking viewer deck submissions, I'm basically just playing things that I like for longer periods. So any decks that break 90 minutes usually had good sets. You want Thoughtseize in against the creature deck? Really? All right. I mean, go ahead. Okay, I'll just let you board for me. What do you want to cut? I would not board in Thoughtseize here against the creature deck. Like, I know dying to Winota feels bad, but like they're gonna peel Winota off the top. What do you want to cut? Do you cut Deathrite Shaman in this matchup because I don't have anything graveyard based? Great. Is Witch's Vengeance good enough? They have a number of humans, but like a lot of them don't die to -3/-3, right? We are gonna murder the crap out of that land war elves, aren't we? Just kill it with fire, kill it with thirst, drink it up. We are the Bloodchief. Listen, chat, for this rune crab, peace was never an option. MTGO is eerily silent. Just the clickety-clack of my mechanical keyboard and the grating sound that is my voice. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, Empton. In fact, since I'm no longer doing viewer decks, I actually haven't been uploading 100% of the things that I've been playing to YouTube. Like, if we play a deck that's my idea and not a viewer submission and it's just awful, I just don't bother uploading it. So it's just not very good. Jund Death Touch, Dream. I think we're saving Drown exclusively for Winota at this point, right? You couldn't find it. It is definitely on YouTube. Jund Death Touch. There's a playlist of standard decks on the front page of my YouTube channel. Is it not in the playlist? Did it not make it into the playlist? Man, fucking YouTube is killing me. YouTube decided to delete features from their website. It's definitely not on the standard playlist. I did double check that. So, YouTube decided that not enough people were using the auto add videos to playlist features. So YouTube just deleted the ability to auto add to auto add videos to playlists. Our opponent conceded the game. Are they conceding the match? They are. All right. Yeah, so they just like end of life a feature that I use, because like previously I sort all my content by playlist, and I would just have it say, okay, if I put standard in the video title, add it to the standard playlist, etc. If I put historic, add it to the historic playlist. Okay, so we're 2-2 with our second win being that concession. So we get our $10 back if we win this last one. Last opponent must have had somewhere to go. Or maybe their boss walked in. I don't know. The record doesn't really matter, especially when we get like a random concession. What does a shorthand and U for blue come from? Because L isn't a very good, it can be confused with I, and B is for black. There's two colors that when was the last time we ate Chipotle? Christy and I have actually gone back to getting takeout consistently again. So we actually had Chipotle for the first time in a long time yesterday. There's leftovers in my fridge, in fact. Archivile Rain, thanks for the follow. Good morning. It's going to be our last match of Pioneer. And then we will slide on along to some standard and play some blue-black mutate in standard. It's Pioneer feel with recent bans. Seems fine. As I'm also of the same opinion of Pioneer right now as historic, and that like I really haven't played enough games to like have a really, really super informed opinion. So origin of the burrito emote. Well, if you play the difference between going 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 on Magic Online is approximately $7 or one burrito's worth of money. So this next match is what we refer to as a burrito match, because we're playing for approximately one burrito. Three minutes in the queue. Where are people finding $7 burritos? Is the Chipotle burrito bowl that much more than $7 now? I feel like it's not. How many people are in this league? 210 people in the entirety of the global world. They could only find 210 people that wanted to play Pioneer on Magic Online, chat. 210 people. Millions of people in the world. 210 for Pioneer. Arrow the Freak, thank you for the 34 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Modern has about 1,000 last I checked. Modern has about 1,000. So Modern's like a factor of 5. Get that, we're up to 600 people in here for spreadsheets already. How many of the people that are in chat are in the Magic Arena waiting room at the moment? I assume a non-zero number of you are in a Magic Arena waiting room. We are gonna play a Runeterra expedition to start tomorrow morning. I decided after playing on Friday that I really liked Runeterra's expeditions. I'd been a while since I'd touched them. So we're gonna do a couple of Runeterra expeditions this week. Yeah, always, Elks. I mean, I honestly don't know if this deck can really be competitive in these formats where there's more aggressive things. Like, I don't like binding was okay, I guess. I guess I would just want more removal spells is my one big piece of feedback. Like, I feel like I just want more Doom Blades. Like maybe you can swing Gruul with better removal. Like Trophy would have definitely helped against Gruul a little bit. I actually really don't like the twisted Fizz deck Scamos. I think it's sweet when like the elusive decks like that are B tier in that game, but like when they're tier 1 and can like effectively combo kill you in one turn, it really leaves a lot to be desired. Like the fact that they can just put like 15 power worth of Burblefish in play and kill you in a turn is like really obnoxious. Yeah, the mind meld really pushes it into super combo territory too. Basically, honestly, the parts of Runeterra that are awkward are actually very similar to Magic. In my opinion, the parts of these types of games I like the most are combat. And like the decks that sidestep combat tend to feel bad to play against. Because like the combat systems in Runeterra and Magic are just so interactive that like when those parts of the game aren't the focal point, the games feel a lot less back and forth, in my opinion. Moto's rate of play is glacial. Oh no, chat, and this is the other part, right? Like we just milled over this deck. Our opponent's playing the Pyromancer deck. We just like gave the Dreadhorde Arcanist a bunch of free cards. Maybe it's right to hold one of these back. I don't know. There's a good chance they just have a removal spell anyways, right? I just checked Chipotle's default menu and burritos average $6.9 still. Yes, $7 for a burrito is still accurate. I thought maybe if you're like getting meaty stuff on your burrito, it's more, but I'm a vegetarian. And BT dubs, if you buy the veggie burrito at Chipotle, you get guac included for free. It's good. It's good, solid value, chap. And as a millennial, I love guacamole. Tumos with the 66-month subscription. One of the OGs. Welcome back. They use tofu, right? You can get a non-meat meat type thing there now, but I usually don't. How long have I been a vegetarian for? 13 years. The summer I turned 17. I moved out. I started living on my own when I was 17. So that was when I started buying my own food and made the decision that I didn't feel like eating meat any longer. I always figured I never really cared for meat in terms of the taste, but I felt like it would be rude to be like living at home and refuse to eat the things my parents were serving for meals. They are almost dead. The double enforcer start here was really good. They just double jump block beam. Koff, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Yeah, I mean, the fact that my opponent hasn't played a removal spell and thus likely won't get a chance to leverage their graveyard is nice for us. My opponent fetched a swamp with their Fabled Passage, even though I have Urborg in play. All right. Well, this is probably the Golgari Charm matchup, right? Definitely a fatal push matchup. I don't love Thoughtseize here because they're going to get their hand empty fairly quickly. I want as many cards as possible to play to the board. I'm going to trim the Merfolk Windrobber because of this. Where's the remote for down here? I don't know, you lost it, child. I'd recommend pulling the couch cushions up and looking in them. So, you know, it's funny. It's funny to me how whenever I stream Magic Online, people always bring up the fact that they can't read. People always bring up the fact that they can't read the text on the cards, but like Magic Arena, the cards literally don't have text boxes, and no one ever brings it up there. So, like, I feel like it's weird that gets called out on Moto, when on Magic Arena, it's not even an option. It's like, you're not wrong that the text is super tiny. You can on the Arena overlay, though, but that's different. Like, for example, no one ever brings it up in YouTube comments. There's no overlay on YouTube. You can't pull up text of cards on Cardboard Live on mobile. Sure, you could pause on YouTube. Hey, Transith, I almost missed that resub. Is there a way I could find the deck list, the green-black Pioneer deck list? A couple of weeks back, I didn't find it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. You gotta click the videos tab. The deck list is in the video description. I don't have a playlist for Pioneer up on my front page of my YouTube page. Maybe I should do that. We'll put a paper boomer playlist up there. All of the decks that we do full sessions for end up on the YouTube. I think I keep the hand with Dub's Deathrite Shaman in this matchup. Shama Lama Ding Dong. Seize my thoughts, opponent. They are all the same. You have no choices here. Triome is almost assuredly cycling. they have like a Fatal Push or a Wild Slash here. They get to kill both my idiots. Maybe it's wrong to play out the second Deathrite Shaman because of that. Just like go murder it, flashback murder it. Yeah, it's super awkward. This chat, 2 cards that are banned in Legacy, duking it out here in Pioneer. Morning, Flanksy. I frequently watch Twitch on my TV and use chat on my phone. Although it's actually really sick. The Twitch app on my Samsung TV actually gives me the option to overlay chat on the TV itself and position it on the TV. So that way when I'm watching a streamer that doesn't have chat on their overlay, I can still pull it up, which is sweet. Snookums, thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The real answer is Magic players can't read, so Moto makes us feel bad about the mysterious symbols on the cards, so we have to complain. I think if you're someone that puts your Twitch streams on YouTube and you're someone who answers questions from your chat, you should have the overlay on your stream. Otherwise, you have to be reading the text of every question you're responding to. I also think most card games, and this definitely includes both Magic Online and Magic Arena, have enough dead space that you can easily put chat on the overlay and not obstruct important things. So, if you Google Twitch app for Samsung TV, you have to flip your TV into developer mode, but if you flip it into developer mode, you can sideload a community Twitch app, which is probably why it has sweet features like putting chat on the screen itself, because it's a community app. Because Samsung TV's chat actually run a variation of Linux called Tizen. So you can load apps up on it if you want, like a real Linux computer. I mean, being consistent about reading comments you're responding to is just something that, like I'm sure it's not difficult to train yourself to do that. Day 9's been producing content for eons. He's like the Twitch grandpa. He's one of the OGs. Or just super dead, right? Try and take game 3 on the play here. Why do those tokens have trample? I'm pretty sure that's a graphical bug on Magic Online. Yeah, Day 9 was like the first or second person to get a sub button, I believe. I'm pretty sure he has like 10-year subs or something like that. Or 100-month subscribers, close to 10 years. Everything is Unix if you dig deep enough. That's not true. Windows isn't Unix yet. Not everything is Linux, though. Yeah, OS X is Unix-based. It's not Linux-based, but it's Unix-based. Tizen is actually a Linux distribution. I think the core of Windows 10 and modern Windows systems is called NT, once upon a time Windows was built on DOS, but if I recall correctly, Millennium Edition was the last DOS-based Windows, right? I don't know, it's been a while since I've mucked around and all that. His 10-year anniversary stream was last year. Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm bottoming the land. I think I'm bottoming the land and keeping the spells. As a CentOS Linux admin, I can confirm everything is Unix. Did you make a magnet block gun? Did you make a magnet block gun to come in here and threaten me to find the remote? Don't threaten people with magnet block guns, child. You think this is? America. It's definitely America. Jan wants to see your magnet block gun. Come in here. I have a webcam. Do I have a webcam large one? Did I make a webcam large one? I didn't. Yeah, hold it up, dude. Don't threaten chat. Don't threaten them with a good time. Alright, so we'll get rid of the young pyromancer, but I think that's it here, actually. I don't want to exile extra cards because I want to turn on my Thieves Guild Enforcer. We'll do this and draw Lurrus here. Prepping for the feral hogs. Yeah, exactly. Interesting. They burned a magma spray on my 1-drop, knowing I have Lurrus, so that would imply that I either have a Thoughtseize or they have another magma spray. There is not a stage 2 to the leagues. Leagues only have one stage. Nobody knows. And then, like, we just couldn't answer this Dreadhorde Arcana, so we just die, right? Is how this works. Oh, you know what? I could have... Yeah, I don't know if Regenerator's right there. I could have given -1/-1, though. And, like, here's the thing, right? Like, about these decks that are milling. Like, there's so many graveyard synergies in these formats that, like, I almost don't want to do anything because milling my opponent gets them closer to Croxa, right? But I also just can't sit here on my hands doing nothing. Like, Lurrus is gonna die here, but I need to just play through this. Maybe I'm supposed to play this other Soaring Thought-Thief out instead. Oh, and they're making me discard a card. Yeah, I don't know how we ever get through this value. Yeah, I'm like, and then exactly here, right? Like, I just milled them into a Croxa. Yeah, we're just super dead. Yeah, I think this deck's probably bad in Pioneer for a lot of the same reasons that it's bad in Standard. There's just, even with Deathrite Shaman and Binding as a touch of anti-graveyard stuff, like, there's too many decks that just, like, leverage their graveyard as a resource. We lost 2 matches in there to people having a bunch of escape cards that we couldn't deal with, and then we lost another match to someone just being aggressive with people playing their stuff to the board. The disjointed game plan of, like, attacking a little bit, but also milling a little bit, so you, like, get your opponent half dead by 2 different game metrics, just really doesn't feel very good to me. And this deck felt mediocre here for a lot of the same reasons that it feels in Standard. If you wanted to make it a little bit better, one problem we definitely had was being able to answer large artifacts like the Great Henge and Bolas's Citadel. So, like, I think swapping these to some Assassin's Trophies, easy switch. Even that last game, right? Like, if this Golgari Charm had been Assassin's Trophy, I'm able to kill that Dreadhorde Arcanist on that game there, and then it's not able to kill all of my stuff, which would be ideal. So, yeah, this card just doesn't seem very good in general. I don't think there's enough things you want to give -1/-1 to, and I'd rather have a more flexible answer like Assassin's Trophy that's able to clean up creatures in a pinch and also kill larger artifacts. Hey, Chase. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever time of day it is. All right, let's shift some gears and play some Arena, huh?